those, but let me look in there tomorrow.
The,
I know that she's.
Yeah, now you.
It's
do you
just
tell the
funny.
Vice Mayor
It makes
how
me
they
laugh.
bang a gavel at the budget meeting?
Like me?
Oh,
Better?
it's a smaller gavel, but it was doing major damage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It got into
Yeah.
the weeds in Republican.
Oh, did it
Democrats,
really?
yeah.
Wow. Hey, Fernando.
We're still doing lunch tomorrow? Yeah. Okay, good deal.
Hey, how you doing?
Call meeting to order. Shelley, could you do roll call, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. District 1, Councilman Rios is excused. District 2, Councilman Pastor.
Here.
District 3, Councilman Lethan is excused. District 4, Vice Mayor Stapleton.
Here.
District 5, Councilman Gonzalez.
Here.
District 6, Councilman Shipley.
Here.
Mayor Gameros.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Shelley. Chief will lead us in the invocation today.
Our Father in heaven, this time as we gather together, we give gratitude unto Thee for all that Thou hast blessed us with. are grateful for this community and would continue in prayer that those in our community who may be in need will feel blessed and will be able to recognize thy hand in their lives. We pray for those whose health may be in decline, that they may be able to receive the strength and the support that they need. We would also pray for the rain that our community needs to ease the drought that we have. At this time, Father, we offer prayer for these proceedings, that they may be conducted in a respectful and productive manner. And we offer this prayer in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Fernando, can you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with some of your current events. Mariano, we'll start with you down there.
Just one item, Mr. Mayor. I want to compliment you and Mr. Jepson for getting down to the legislature this morning and testifying in front of the Appropriations Committee. And it seems we've had to work long and hard with our peers at the legislature to try to obtain funding. And while you may not have been successful this morning, I did see you on the video link, and I was pleased with the way you presented our case and the rest of the region's case to the legislature. I know it takes a while to get down to Phoenix and get into the right frame of mind, and you did all that today, and I want to thank you both for attending. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Fernando?
Just a couple things. I was able to attend Larry Alderman's funeral, and it was really nice, and they were very appreciative that I was able to represent the city there. So it's a big loss to lose Larry, and he was very good for our community. He dedicated a lot of time and effort, and so he'll definitely be remembered. The other thing is that Love Where You Live, which is one of our local nonprofits and really works at like making community a nice place to live, done a lot of art projects and murals and just a lot of improvement projects. They are actually a finalist for the UNA Award, which is, UNA was a lady who was very famous in Arizona. She came from a wealthy background, but was able to bring all these organizations together to help promote the arts and do much more than was capable with all them doing their own thing. And so that is the award that they are the finalists for, and we will find out on Monday, the 8th in the morning, who won. So we
Friday.
Is it Friday? Yeah, Friday, May 8th, whatever day that is. So it's exciting. So we'll see. That's it.
That's it. Mike?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, as usual, Rael has left me a schedule of all the activities going on at the Globe Library. I think she's probably got some copies back there on the table. So if people want to pick them up, she does a good job of programs at the library. And it looks like we're having a Arabian Empire, Rael? Is that, Adrian, okay, well, that's why I need to go to the library more often. Anyways, the summer reading kickoff program, and it's going to be on May 30th, 9 o'clock. There's opening ceremonies. Then at 10 a.m. there's live demonstrations with a variety of blades and craftsmen. So, you know, and at 9 it's a Bardic Tale and Knight's Tale. And then a tea party at 12:30, and there'll be closing court at 1 o'clock. So if you're looking for a little something different to do with your kids, you might enjoy doing that. Other than that, Mr. Mayor, I'm done.
Thank you, Mike. Mike?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I just have a few things. First of all, I want to remind everybody that this Friday's First Friday. Come down there and see us and enjoy all the activities that's going on. And that's from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, correct? Nice. And then secondly, I want to remind everybody that the farmers market is coming back starting this Saturday. and it runs through, all the way through September now. And it's every Saturday here in the park from 8 to 11. So go down there and get your fresh vegetables and baked goods and all that good stuff. And then thirdly, reminder that this is actually an event from the Chamber of Commerce. They're having a Mother's Day social brunch and sips. And that's Saturday, May 9th at 10 o'clock. And that's at, of course, at the Globe, Miami Chamber of Commerce. And tickets are $25 single. And if you bring your mother, which you should, it's $35 for you and your mom. And you can call the chamber to purchase tickets or go online to do that. And then I want to thank the mayor I attended the State of the City address on Thursday night. And he had me open up the meeting, so I just want to say thank you. I appreciate that. And the address was really good. Had a good turnout. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
And then Saturday, I attended the 10th annual Angel Perez Wings of Hope. And man, Broad Street was packed. That was really cool. And I believe the last I heard, there was about 120 cars, trucks, lowriders, hot rods, everything out there. It was a really good turnout. And then the parking lot was packed with vendors, live music, and everything. So it was just it was a really good time. And then lastly, I just want to remind everybody that the pool opens May 22nd. So no, my grandkids are ready for that. So they've even bugged me last night down in the valley. When we coming up to swim? So, but that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I just want to talk a little more about this weekend events too. I think we had two signature events in our community, starting with the Old Dominion Days and the breakfast. They started on Thursday morning, which was at the golf course. They had presentations from all three mines, BHP, Freeport, and Capstone, and they gave a great, just an update on the mines. They didn't go into a lot of detail, but they spent about 20-30 minutes each, and it was a great event there to kick it off. And then it followed through with the vintage baseball game. We had hundreds of people here from all over. I talked to people from Tombstone, Mesa. They were from all over. They were here several days, staying in our motels, using our restaurants, and buying souvenirs. So it was a great event. Sunday I was able to participate in the trophy awards, and that was at the community center, and Mesa won it again. They won it 2 years in a row. That is a signature event. That is something that brings a lot of people back, and it brings new people that are going to return. And I also want to talk about the Wings of Hope car show. I want to congratulate Johnny and Monica for an amazing event. It was great. That's another signature event that I hope we keep in Globe, because they try and alternate different places, but I believe it belongs in Globe. And you're right, they had vendors. I don't know where they would have put any more vendors there if they would have brought any more. The vehicles were there, a lot of people in town, new people coming to the area. You know, indirectly, we benefit from all this revenue that comes in, so we need to work at keeping that here for the future. So congratulations on that 10th annual Wings of Hope car show. Today, as Mariano mentioned, late last night, Paul called me. They had a surprise or emergency appropriation budget meeting today scheduled at 10 o'clock, and that was in front of the House and the Senate at the Capitol. And that was to just hear the governor has her budget, and then the Republican majority in the Senate and the House have their budget that they're turning over to the governor. So they have their proposal, but it gave us the opportunity. I was there to represent not only Globe, but Gila County and Town of Miami. And it gave us the opportunity to ask for support for the Gila County flood relief funding. And that's the one that Governor Hobbs mentioned in her State of the City, that she wanted to support our community. And the initial amount was, I think, around 25 million. Whether we'll get that, whatever we get will help any of us, because we have to pay for these matches on these three projects that we're working on. So anything we get, so we were heard there, And I hope that is passed on when they go negotiate now with the governor on the future of the budget, the state budget. So again, thank you, Paul, for letting me know late at night we were able to make it. And we had the lobbyists from the county there that set everything up. So it was good that we were there to at least make our presentation. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, the couple things I wanted to start with the fact that we did have very successful Clean and Beautiful community cleanup this weekend. Michelle Yurkovich puts that together and did a wonderful job this time also. She spearheads that. Nearly 200,000 pounds, almost 100 tons of mixed waste hauled to the landfill. 477 tires collected. Additionally, 10 to 12,000 pounds of scrap metal collected by private citizens. Friday, Saturday alone, over 43,000 pounds of garbage, more than 21 tons in 2 days. Total dump fees came to almost $8,000. Shows how much was hauled out of Globe, and so that's a big win. Not only other people we want to thank for that, Waste Connections, our contract hauler that picks up trash. They are our partners in that. Larry and Travis helped out there. Of course, John, Uriel, and their team, Public Works, on the ground supporting that. Gary from the building department helping also. Maya and Melissa handing out the PSAs and outreach material, spreading the word, and many, many volunteers in the community that helped out. So this is a big win, good spring cleaning event, and glad it was taken care of, but that it was highly utilized. Also, this flood didn't just hit City of Globe. We are working very closely with our partners, with Gila County, with Town of Miami. They were discussing Miami situation and Miami funding in that event today that we were at. Like I say, it was county had taken point on working with Representative Blackman to get this bill started, and I think we're happy that we could come down there and help carry the, keep this moving. We probably won't know for a while what the outcome was, but we definitely improved our chances of getting some benefit from the state. And also thank our partners at DEMA. DEMA has been working very closely through all the federal stuff and the regulation, the paperwork, and giving us advice, and we've all upped our game, I believe, from this. And the last thing I wanted to say is thank you to council for your availability. When we got a lot of stuff going on, we got tight schedules trying to get the budget done, a lot of things. When we need you, you're always available. You make yourselves available like you did, Mayor, and like every council has, from council work groups to quick lunch to special meetings. And I'm not just buttering you up for a special meeting we're talking about later on the agenda. So. But it really makes our job easier when your availability. We can better fill your needs when we're able to, make sure that we're communicating. So thank you all for that, and to Councilman Rios and Councilman Latham also. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor, members of council.
Thank you, Paul. I just want to make a comment on the cleanup also. I went up there Sunday and to drop off some tree branches. It was amazing to see the amount of stuff that was out there. But I want to commend our staff for the way they set it up with the markings on everything was separated, and everybody was paying attention to that signage, and so it makes it easy. And yeah, I'm imagining they had truckloads coming out of there because it was full up there with everything, appliances, tires, branches. I mean, you name it, it was up there, and it was separated very well. So I commend our staff for the way they set that up. Thank you. We have our first community call to the public. I have no call cards up here. Do we have any online or
Nothing on text, Mr. Mayor.
Load up the council. Oh, check the mail. Nothing there. Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. So we'll go to special presentations, and item A is budgetary update and possible direction on budgetary process including utilization of the 3% PSPRS funds and council contingency funds for fiscal year 26-27 budget, and Linda will be presenting.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. Just to touch upon the community cleanup, we actually got a thank you note from two of the gentlemen that come, and they sit there all day long to take away the scrap metal. And it was just so complimentary of all of our staff, and they look forward to the event every year, and so word is spreading. And so one gentleman said that that's how he has been paying for his family's vacation. So that was really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So tonight we're going to hear a little bit about the budget update, where we are in the process. We're here tonight to ask for, and you should have the PowerPoints printed in front of you until we get that up. That's okay, we can still roll. So we're here to ask council for direction on utilization of the 0.3% PSPRS funds and also council contingency funds. I'll wait so the public can see that as well, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Just be a moment. There we go. See. Thank you. Fantastic. So, of course, as mayor and council know, one of our primary SAP goals has been to build a new fire station for our department. And here's some facts behind that. Our current department, or current location is a 120-year-old firehouse. It does not meet the needs or the safety standards for a modern fire department. The property where the future fire department will be built has been acquired. Right now, we're working on a feasibility study and expect that to arrive in the next couple of weeks. This feasibility study will give us an estimated maximum price. Another piece to moving forward is completing our audits. We're happy to say that we will be caught up on our audits. We anticipate before July of this year, but we're going to put July out there as last case scenario. And then we can begin finalizing our funding plan. And after that, we go to full design, and then we break ground and build the station. So how are we going to fund our station? So based on the preliminary design, we've learned that the estimated cost of a new facility is between 13 and 15 million. And of course, that's based on preliminary design. This feasibility study is going to give us a better idea of what the actual cost will be. And of course, we plan to value engineer that as needed. So where's the funding going to come from? So we've been exploring all of our options and talking to other municipalities and how they've been able to achieve huge capital projects like this. Bonding is been recommended for our way to seek funding. It's similar to going to the bank and getting a loan, but instead we're going to the bond market for financing. And based on the preliminary costs, we need to demonstrate that we can cover 1.2 million in annual debt service. And by doing so, even if we can bring that cost down by being able to say we have dedicated funding source for a 1.2 million debt service, this will give us the most competitive rates. So the PSPRS 0.3 sales tax is that dedicated funding source that through council action can make this project possible. Right now, we are anticipating bringing in 900,000 in the 0.3, the PSPRS sales tax, and so the remaining 300,000 will come from future operational revenue.
So, Mayor and Council, the going out to bond is like filling out an app and going to a bank and saying, do we qualify? We need to do certain things to make sure that we qualify for bonding, and more so for the most lowest rate that we can get, showing financial sustainability and stability, being caught up on our audits is important. Having, having the ability to pay the money back, that is real important. And that's what makes, dedicating the public safety, the 0.3% to that bond payment shows that, here's a source, and so here's the loan, and here's a source that's gonna be going to that. It's real important. It will make them, the bond market, the bonding company, the people, there's a lot of terminology out there that, more confident that we have a plan on how to pay this over the time. And again, as many other things that we have, we'll be going and doing, going after the bond in after the summer, probably early spring, once we have a couple of the questions resolved for the flooding. But we need to plan for it in this budget cycle, because we're right around the corner from this. And so that's why we're talking about this now. So we have to put certain things in our budget to make sure that we are ready when the time comes, that we can pull the trigger on the bond request.
And actually, that is one of the requirements, that we do build that into our next fiscal year budget. And because this has been in place since 2016, we have that historical data to also demonstrate that this is a very productive revenue source.
Just a comment on that too. I think when people talk or they hear about bonding, they think, well, there go my taxes and everything. But with this proposed plan that the city has, they won't see that increase in their property tax or in their bonding. So I think I commend our staff for really looking into this and coming up with options on how to fund this station without increasing any cost to our taxpayers. I also commend the city for 10 years ago, 2016, for being proactive in addressing the unfunded liability for police and fire, where the then council took $1 million out of their fund balance to pay off some of their unfunded, and then created a 0.3% tax increase dedicated to bring that funding down. And a lot of cities ignored it. A lot of cities they went to bond to pay for their unfunded liability, or now they extended to 30 years instead of 20 years. So the cost amount to these cities is huge. So where we're at now, and I think we're close to 80% funded now, which is amazing where we're at. And we're kind of an example when they talk about, when PSPRs has their seminars, how we handled it right from the beginning instead of putting it off down the road. So I commend the council and the staff and for really stepping forward and taking care of that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Is this
Fernanda?
a 20-year term?
The bond?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And because many residents won't recall the PSPRS. Ooh. It's got a mind of its own tonight.
Oh, you were going to say it already.
You read my bullet points.
I didn't see it. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
There.
Okay, there it is. So we're going to touch a little bit upon the PSPRS history. As Mayor mentioned, in July of 16, there was a council task force formed, and Mayor was actually on that task force, as was Vice Mayor Stapleton. And the task force met, I think, 4 times over 3 weeks, and came to the conclusion to make a recommendation to City Council to create the 0.3% sales tax to support fire and police by paying down that unfunded liability. And so kudos to the council for the foresight that they had, because the city's liability has been greatly reduced, and now we are in the situation that we are now, so that we can look forward and complete a project such as this magnitude. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the funding to tackle it. Staff at this time is requesting that this sales tax could be reassigned by the city council towards the debt service for the new fire station, allowing the funds brought in to be allocated towards advancing and securing public safety services for the residents of our area.
And so, Mr. Mayor, members of council, like I say, was there when we did this. We had problems with affording fire and police because we were in the 60 to 70%, and what that means, there'd be an amount that we had to pay for PSPRS normally for our fire and police people. And then that 70% represented an additional amount of their salary, and this was just killing us. This was done to stabilize public safety, and this money is paid off both in the budget, but in the quality police and fire services we have now. And that has come. We led the way with taking upon ourselves, as I recall, we said, you don't make the minimum payments on your credit card, you never get it paid off. And that 1 million and this dedicated funding source, this 0.3, was there to help public safety and keep it viable as it is now. Like I say, what we're looking to do is redirect that 0.3 money, not to PSPRS, but now to the dedicated bonding source for the fire station, because it will do the job. It's one of the only options we have, and it fits in the spirit of what we passed, what council at that point, and continuing on being proactive and taking the lead and taking and being out there going, we're not gonna, we're gonna take action and make this station happen. So that's where we feel comfortable asking council about this and for this transition.
For the benefit of everybody else, can you tell them what PSPRS stands for?
Public Safety Personnel Retirement System.
Yeah, so that is, so it's a different system than ASRS, Arizona State Retirement System, but it is, so I'm gonna go deep history here. 2008, there was a blip in the stock market. It dropped like a rock and then came back up. And what that did, there was a nuance in the PSPRS system that if the money went down, then the cities had to cover the loss in the retirement system. But if the money went up, the public safety retirees got a COLA. Well, they didn't encounter that it would go down and up in one cycle. And so it went down, created a deficit in there, and then bounced back up. But that money didn't go back to fill that deficit, so it left all cities, I think about 2008, 2010, in a hole. And that is a nuance from the law, something no one envisioned, that the stock market would drop 50 and then come back up. And so they were redoing the law. They had a constitutional amendment to create the Tier 3, which has kind of saved that. But all these cities were left with this hole, and it was so it was a fluke from an economic, activity from that 2008 thing, where the market crashed, and we were one of the first. We had people coming to us and asking us, "Well, that was cool. How did you do that?" And that's a good plan. And people, you're doing the right thing when people follow what you do. But no, it's just a little history. I'm glad those days are over.
One other thing they did also with the Tier 3 system also is the retirees were automatically getting 4% raises every year on their retirement. So what they did now is they changed it. Now they get a 2%, but the market has to make greater than 7% increase on it, a benefit to it. So it decreased really decreased the benefits of retirees, but it actually helped save the system also in going to Tier 3.
And Scotty McCarthy is the finance director right now for Queen Creek. He was on that PSPRS board, still is. He helped write the legislation, and he came up and spoke to our group and helped us with this plan. So anyway, it was, like I say, it was a good move, a proactive move, and I think this city should be very proud of that.
Thank you, Paul.
So just take it one step further for my information, because I'm not involved. I'm an ASRS retiree. What's our liability outstanding right now, and how soon will that go down to zero?
The liability is hovering about 22% right now, and people will tell you that's as good as you want to get. We will still continue to pay a small fraction of what we're mandated to pay to bring that down, but it varies on the percentage that PSPRS is receiving on their investment. It varies on the average salary of public safety employees, And so if they drop the rate of return by a point one tenth of a percent, all of a sudden our what we owe goes up, or if they take it down. So it's like trying to track down a butterfly. It's flying all over the place. If we get to that 20% area, we're considered safe and where you should be. You don't want to overpay it either. So, but we're in that range where we were 10 to 11 million at the time. And you have to remember it's split between half is fire and half is police. But that was a number that we recommended, was to get down to that near that 20% range, and that would be considered what would it be, fiscally sound.
Thank you.
But I don't have the
Mr.
exact
Mayor,
number right now.
That's the final answer I may need to my constituency who ask it. Well, what happens? And so now we have an end game. And that's fine.
And we will continue, like I say, we will continue to make the mandated payments. But what we've successfully done is made that above and beyond payment that needed to get, because most people carry just a little bit of capacity on their credit card, but we, 10 million we needed to get that down so we could, and under our terms, and that's what we did.
Yeah, thank you. That answers my question.
Some cities in Arizona were up to 100% unfunded liability. I think we bounced to about 65%, our highest. And now we're down to the 20% area, 22%. That is amazing to be in that area.
Well, that answers my questions, because I'm sure I'll get asked about what's our end game. So I see it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
There were cities that, over 100, you could get rid of your police department or fire department and you still had the liability. You had one employee, that one employee had to help carry that. That was money that the cities owed to the system, and it needed to be paid off, is what we did.
I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Martha, do you have a question?
Last year, council adopted a policy to maintain a $3 million contingency fund, and it was often referred to as the rainy day fund. And then we had the floods. And so we did tap into that rainy day fund, and based on the reduced revenues this fiscal year due to the event, we were not able to grow the council's contingencies fund. So we're asking the city council to please consider a reduction of the contingency to 2.5 million, and this would allow us the budget capacity for much needed one-time projects next fiscal year.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, just wanted, I've said this before, I think individually, but this is council's fund. This is money, this is by policy, what you like to see in that rainy day fund, in that contingency, and you have every right to say, no, we want to hold to the policy, and we can, you give us that marching order and we will find a way to do it without it. But if you think about it, we had a blip in the revenue. That blip was about $1 million. All right. We also, normally the contingency fund is paid for by money that is budgeted from ongoing funds and then is never spent, and that makes it one-time funds, and that will fill that contingency bucket. We had $500,000 that was unspent and went back to fill that, but it couldn't overcome the $1 million hit we took in our revenue projection. If not, I wouldn't say if not for the flood, but the process would have continued and we would have been able to build that fund. But like I say, before we go any further, like I say, we want to check with council and make sure you're okay with us making budgetary decisions based on what we're asking tonight.
I just want to comment, Mr. Mayor, if I could. Today, right now, we have received information about our economy, region-wide, including Superior. It's bright. It wasn't bright 6 months ago, but events have happened, and in the mining industry, which will help this economy tremendously. Yes, we took a hit. Our revenues were down. That's documented. But the events surrounding us, the economy surrounding us all the way to Superior, covering 4 different mines. I think it's a very bright future. And my hopes are high for that to occur. Other events have not, let's just say the mines have not stumbled. They kept right on growing and growing. And we're at the right point in time to sacrifice and hope for the best. And I'm very encouraged with what I see. Couldn't say that a year ago. Couldn't say we weren't going to have a 100-year, 135-year flood either. But we have survived that. And with our strategic action planning meetings that we have held, a couple things in our economy have come to fruition. The meeting the other day at the Mines Country Club, I'll call it, was a very informative meeting. They all mentioned things casting about worldwide in their operations. And I'm encouraged with that. So does it affect us? Of course it does. But we have planned for years as a region for those dark days when an economy goes down. We know what it looks like. And we've spent decades expanding our ability to grow and having not just one driver of the economy. Tourism is our other component. So we've met that challenge, and I'm encouraged with our efforts. And now I'm also able to say I'm encouraged with the stakeholders who are in the mining industry and that viability for our immediate future and a long-term future. So I'm encouraged looking at that tonight. We're about to go into the next year. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
So tonight, we're here to request council direction as we move forward in the development of the budget to bring forth on May 19th for tentative. We're requesting that staff be allowed to build the fiscal year 27 budget, allocating the redirection of the public safety tax to fund the build of the new City of Globe Fire Station. Also, staff is requesting council to allow us to bring forth a budget that utilizes $500,000 of your $3 million contingency to cover much needed one-time projects.
So Mayor, there is no vote on this. This is a presentation and seeking direction. And like I say, there will be action that comes to lock in both of these items as we go to adopt the tentative. There'll be some legislative requirements that we'll have to meet, but we want to build this in. So if take this assumption, lock it into the formula as we get closer and closer to closing the gap and finishing that budget. We wanted to make sure that this was meeting council's approval. So when we get to that tentative budget, that you're happy with all the pieces that went into producing that budget. And so we're looking for preferably verbal support.
You got any questions or comments for Linda or Paul, either one?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I've been on the board now for 10 years, almost 10 years, maybe going to be 12. And when we come across problems like this that are going to actually benefit us if we make the right decision, we come together and we look at it as what it's going to do for our community. Now, I know we have one council member, and he's not here today, that is real adamant about $3 million. But I think there's some special circumstances we're dealing with right now. And I don't want to say how he would vote, but I think he would probably favor it. But I would rather make a decision completely on that when he's here, you know. But as far as I'm concerned, I would be an okay vote for it when it comes.
Yeah. Me too. Like I said, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. So you guys know exactly what you're doing, and I'm all for this. So we can always build this back up, and we know we will.
Absolutely.
Times are tough
Always
right now. Times are tough the last 6 months. So if this is what we need to do, I'm all for it.
Anybody have any, Fernando or Mariana, any questions, comments?
I don't have any questions. I like to look at what we have accomplished. In the last year, we've improved our fleet. across the board. Some of it appeared just in time as we were dealing with the cleanouts of our sewer. And the rest of the things that we've improved, I think we've accomplished a lot. And that's why I feel encouraged about making these kinds of decisions right now. I think, bragging a little, I think we're showing leadership across the region. And people look to Globe to see what we're doing from around the state. How did you get there? Planning and hard work are the two things that I see of our staff as well as this council. So if you're asking me to take a leap, let's take that leap and see where it takes us this year. I'm not judgmental. I'm always pessimistic in my mitigation planning. What's my worst case scenario? And in spite of that, I think we're in good shape to go into the future. Let's run with it. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
You know, I think we all anticipated a decrease in revenues from the flooding. We have some true numbers that we can actually look at, and people will understand where we're coming from. I think $500,000 is really not a whole lot compared to the money we spent just to stabilize our infrastructure after the flooding. That isn't really a whole lot of money. This next year is going to be tough. We're going to hold the line. We're going to have to limit our spending, but we still need to move forward. And the long-term future is that we not only stabilize, but looking at replacing our infrastructure, and that's going to be another plan for the future needs to take place. As far as the station, you know, I think it's I really commend, like I said earlier, the forward thinking of the council and the staff at that time to get us to this point that we have an option to use our PSPRS to build the fire station. So, you know, I think it's a very well thought out plan, and hopefully we can, we need to educate the public so they understand it totally too.
Yeah, just Mr. Mayor, members of council, like I say, this is a redirecting of the same tax. There is no change in our tax rates or any of our collection. It's not what we collect, but it's how we focus that. And we're focusing within the original intent, which is support public safety. Now, just in one quick comment to Councilmember Pastore's comment, I see clear support to move forward with building that budget with these assumptions. At the end of the day, what you say here tonight does not lock that in. Things could change, and we could get different opinion from somebody and bring up different, and we can roll with that. I think I feel comfortable how the support of council. If there's a change needs to happen, we still can change that. We're not really locked in until final budget. Just for everybody's understanding, tentative budget is the maximum we will spend. Final budget is a maximum arrangement of how we do that spending under that tentative budget. Traditionally, this council has been pretty strong at tentative. There's just minor cleanup and things that we find that we may have missed or doing that. But we will have, I think, 2 to 3 more budget meetings to talk about this. This is not the last time we will talk about this, but we did want to get in front of council and make sure that we had clear direction in support of what we were doing to close this budget and make this work given our financial situation, which is still strong, but this flood is a hiccup, and they're costs.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda.
So just for the record, every council, the council members attending are in support, and we will move forward with building that with that clear direction from council.
Okay, next we go to consent calendar, and matters listed in the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion and one vote. Public hearing items are designated with an asterisk. Prior to consideration of the consent agenda, the mayor will ask whether any member of the public wishes to remove a public hearing item for separate consideration. Members of the council and or staff may remove any item for separate consideration. Item A, consideration of waiver of section 2-4-10A prior discussion rule to allow action on the balance of the consent agenda. Accounts payable, $413,787.47. Council meeting minutes. Consideration of February 10th, 2026 meeting minutes. Consideration to ratify contract number CS 20260118 to JJ Electrical Consulting LLC for the repair of the return activated sludge pump number 2 at the wastewater treatment plant for the amount of $405. Funds from this project are budgeted from account number 5180511340 lift station maintenance. Consideration to ratify contract number PS 20260117 with public sector personnel consultants in the amount of $2,500, funded from account 105551234 administrative contractual service to prepare a public safety compensation survey. Consideration to award contract number CS 20260115 to Rodriguez Construction Incorporated for sidewalk repair located at 226 North Broad Street for the amount of $18,750 with a 15% contingency of $2,812.50 for an amount not to exceed $21,562.50. Funds for this project are budgeted in account 128052200 capital outlay construction from the half-cent excise tax. Consideration to award contract number CS 20260116 to Bulldog Remodeling LLC for an office remodel within City Hall building for the amount of $5,540. Funds are to come from account 105552200 capital outlay construction. Consideration to ratify contract number CS 20260121 to Leslie's Pool Mart Incorporated to install a chlorine acid controller and 2 standard pumps at the community pool for the amount of $7,028.73. Funds from this project are budgeted in account 106751267 other supplies. Consideration to award contract number CS 20260114 to B&A Electric LLC to make the necessary repairs to the Best Botanical Garden lights and soccer field lights on the field number 5 for the amount of $5,216 with a 15% contingency of $782.40 for an amount not to exceed $5,998.40. Funds are to come from account 106151300 park maintenance. Is there anybody from council, staff, or the public wishing to remove any of these items separately for consideration?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to pull item D, please.
Item D.
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 D as in David.
Okay. Any other requests?
Mayor, I would move to approve the consent agenda minus item 4D.
Second.
We have motion and second for approval of the council agenda minus item D. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Travis, I guess you're gonna explain that, or you got a question?
Yeah. Hello, Travis. Hello. I'm just curious, I know what you're talking about, but is it from the Silver Tap south to Cedar, or is it just in front of the salon?
Basically in front of the salon area.
And that's it?
Yes.
Okay. No, I work, not in the salon, obviously, but I work a few doors down. And I've had a lot of people suggest or ask that we have a handicap parking spot in that area. Is that doable while we're doing this project? And possibly a ramp too as well. There's a lot of elder people going in and out of cars in that area. And that sidewalk's pretty high and they've had a few people fall.
Yeah, that would take some other design work. So right now, Broad Street, we are doing a large design throughout the corridor between Cottonwood and Mesquite. So I believe that's within that
Is
area.
that included in there?
Well, if it's one of those areas where if you said we want to look for ADA ramping in a specific area, I can certainly let the design team know that. But they are looking at making everything ADA compliant from a holistic standpoint of where the full sidewalk is. So I would have to, let me get with you sometime after and pinpoint what area you're specifically talking, and then I can see what we can do about that.
And like you said, for a sign, I'm just thinking one of the parking spots near Cedar, maybe the last one, it could be a handicap parking spot, because there are no handicap spots.
Yeah, it's tough to make a handicap parking spot when you're parallel to the curb, is what I'm assuming, right there along Cedar.
No,
You're
On
talking
Broad
about-
Street.
On Broad Street.
in
Oh,
front of
okay.
the,
On the angle parking.
yeah,
Okay,
so like the last parking spot, or even possibly two, just north of the intersection on the west side of Broad Street.
yeah, we can certainly look in that. and
It's
see how
something
that-
to look at while
Yeah.
we're doing something, might as well.
Yeah, we can look into that.
There is a spot right at the end, okay? It's got a sign that says 15-minute parking only.
But that's
Well,
not
yeah, you go-
handicap.
I
That's
know,
not-
but couldn't we designate that as
Well, we don't.
handicap and change it from 15-minute parking to a handicap spot? I mean, they're gonna be remodeling the whole place.
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly look into that. I'll make the note and we'll discuss it and see, design-wise, see if that fit in there. And if you need extra space for, van space for the lift, we can look into all that. I just can't give you an answer right now
No,
without
that's
looking
fine.
at the.
I was just throwing out ideas,
Sure, yeah.
because I've heard a lot of people suggest that or have had complaints in that area.
Now, are they gonna be repairing the sidewalk from, what is it, 928?
Oh, yeah.
226?
Yeah, there's a
All
section.
the way to the corner?
I don't think it's all the way to the corner, it's just a section, that's damaged right now. So, that's the portion that's gonna be fixed. I don't think it's all the way to the corner,
It's just in front of the salon,
yeah.
at Anita's hair salon.
But however, our Broad Street sidewalk overall project, that we requested $2.2 million for recently through the Transportation Alternatives Program with ADOT, should we be awarded for that, we will be taking care of the entire stretch. So,
There's a lot of other spots along the sidewalks on Broad Street that need to be looked at because there are some pretty bad spots out
sure,
there.
yeah.
So,
I think that'll fall into the project that you're
It should
talking
fall
about.
into the project. Anything between Mesquite and Cottonwood, they're redesigning everything I'm hoping for a lower profile in some of those areas, but it will be all ADA compliant and it'll be all redone. It's a full replacement.
good.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
All we
Thank
gotta
you,
do is
Travis.
get rid of the fences on the
question?
street now.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept item D.
Second.
Yeah, motion and a second to approve item D is read. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those nay. Motion passes.
Thank you, Travis.
Go to new business. Item A is consideration to approve resolution number 1931 authorizing the application submittal for a Clean Water State Revolving Fund loan in the amount of $3 million from the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority, WIFA, of Arizona as required for submission to the WIFA Project Finance Program application. Shelley, can you read resolution 1931?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 1931, a resolution of the Mayor and Council of the City of Globe, Gila County, Arizona, to authorize the application submittal of a Clean Water State Revolving Fund loan from the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority of Arizona. Is council pleased with the reading?
Yes.
Well, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. As you recall, early February, the first council meeting in February, we came to you for a debt authorization to apply for WIFA loan at $4 million for the clean water and $2 million for the drinking water. Since there were some adjustments that we needed to make on what we were actually applying for, WIFA program asked us to just reauthorize the debt authorization for the amounts that we're now requesting for the specific projects that we're requesting under this particular clean water WIFA loan that we're going after now. So the project, before in February, we had a list of projects and alternative projects that covered a wide variety of eligible projects such as sewer lines, common sewers, anything that dealt with sewers. But since we are now focused on $3 million for local match on the NRCS funding that we have, that is our basic and primary request under the new application that we're submitting.
And this can only be used for sewer?
Well, this is only gonna be used for local match for the flood mitigation work that, under the NRCS program. Since that does require, has a $5.5 million, local match responsibility to that. So this is $3 million that we can throw at it.
Are we eligible for any forgivable of that amount, or won't know?
Well, we don't know at the moment, but there's always eligibility for forgiveness of the WIFA loans.
So, Mr. Mayor, members of council, we find that the more and more on top of this stuff we are, the less and less the forgivable is. So, we're a victim of our own success. But this money is very much needed. I may sound like a broken record, but like say, to match the $5.5 million match that we need is a combination of possibly this, possibly the appeal to waive the match, possibly the FEMA, possibly the state, possibly all of the above. A little bit of everything, possibly value engineering, possibly that it comes in a little bit low, or possibly we run out of time and we can't spend all that money.
Sounds like a lot of maybes in there.
Oh, that's how,
Possible.
that's how it was.
Is there a waiver we have to sign?
But what I will tell you is that we are very close to starting that work in the creek, and we are going to be doing it in time for, because we do have monsoon season that weathermen are telling us may be a little bit more aggressive than others. The only nuance to this presentation is we need to get the loan, what is it? What's the marker point for when we can start using this money?
So the WIFA board meets mid-June, I believe June 17th. And from my understanding, we can get it eligible to spend as quickly as June 19th, somewhere around there. So within days of them actually approving in the board, we just gotta make sure we set that up properly.
But work that is conducted before that June 19th is not eligible to be used for a match. So we may be coming out of pocket a little bit on match money in the front end, and then have this for the back end. But we're still waiting for clearances and things, and so you just never know on the timing. But no, we're moving forward. As you see, I don't want to go off topic too far. It's about WIFA, not about flood recovery, but it's and kudos for Travis for pivoting, and we made a run at the last meeting trying to get in, did not make it in, but Travis pivoted, did the readjustments needed to make it fit, and on top of being pulled in the way of FEMA coming to visit, and the Corps of Engineers and pulling him from all directions, he got these two applications in and correct, and so we're sitting good on that. So Travis, thank you.
Is there an urgency? Do we need to waive the rules?
I think because the fact that we are applying, and then we will have to accept these, that this will not be the last time that this money comes forward, this topic comes forward, so there's no need to waive the rule. We'll be talking about this as we're spending. And the other thing I want to say, if it turns out that this money is not necessary for the match, Travis has confirmed that we still can go back. We have up to 3 years to repropose projects in sewer that we can do. And just the other piece of the puzzle, our sewer lines are in our floodplain, and in our creek. For us to get to the sewer lines, we need to get the debris and everything off of that, and that's how this falls into a sewer funding bucket, which may be one of the only bright points about having a sewer line in the floodplain.
Any other questions or comments? No. Motion to move forward.
Mayor, I move to approve item 5A as presented.
Second.
Got a motion, a second, to move item 5A forward to the future meeting. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item B is consideration to approve Resolution 1932 authorizing the application submittal for a drinking water state revolving fund loan in the amount of $1 million from the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority WIFA of Arizona as required for the submission to the WIFA project finance application. Can you read Resolution 1932, Shelley, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 1932, a resolution of the Mayor and Council of the City of Globe, Gila County, Arizona, to authorize the application submittal of a drinking water state revolving fund loan from the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority of Arizona. Is council pleased with the reading?
Yes.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council, this is for the drinking water loan for $1 million. The $1 million will be applied to the Globe Water Transmission Main Line under the 595 project. That project carries a $2.1 million federal grant that we have with the Army Corps of Engineers. And it also has a $700,000 local match for a total of 2.8, but the overall project costs more than that. So we're requesting this $1 million to apply towards that overall project.
Same thing on this one, this is a move forward.
Yeah.
This, yeah, you don't need to waive the rule. This is gonna come back.
Okay.
If you send that money also.
So I make a motion to move item B forward to a later date.
Motion second to move item B to a future meeting. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you, sir. Just a point of order, I mean, moving that forward, is that the same as approving it?
What,
No, we should really amend the motion. We're not bringing the resolution back. We're approving the resolution tonight for the submittal. Once it's awarded, we'll bring that award back.
So did I say it wrong?
Yeah, we're not really moving it forward, we're approving it tonight.
So I make a motion to approve resolution 1932 as read. Is that okay? And bring back the,
well, no, so you just approve this to go forward with the application. There's
come
no
back.
need to waive the rule or bring it back again, because if we apply and we win it, we don't have to accept it if something changes. Let's say that, you know, it's a final, it's when we do something right off the bat and it's done, that's when when we want to have two readings. So there's somebody's has concerns and they hear about it after the fact. There is the opportunity for someone to hear about it after the fact, come forward, express concerns that maybe council's like, wow, I didn't realize that, and you can in a future agenda item reverse yourself. You're not married to it for now. You're giving permission to go forward, but there's still options to turn back if needed.
gotcha.
So there's no reason to waive the rule.
Okay.
Just straight up and down vote.
So I made the motion. Do we had a second or?
Well, do we have to go back to the other one and unless we have a clear understanding that we're not violating anything just by moving it forward? I don't know. I don't understand it. So we gotta go back to item A2 to change that?
Well, I motioned to approve it, I didn't motion to move it forward.
Well, you did a combination, I think, to approve it and move it forward to
Well,
a
he
future
mentioned the
meeting.
moving forward, but my motion said to approve it,
Okay.
and then it was seconded. So he can't change that by talking about it afterward.
Hey, Tina, are you listening in?
Yes.
We have an attorney online. So did you hear what happened here just now? The council motioned and approved to move it forward when the actual motion and should have been an approval. Can they reverse themselves?
Recording stopped.
Yeah, so what I would do, Paul, is somebody that was on the winning side just needs to make a motion to reconsider. And then you can make a motion to approve the resolution.
So anybody and you all voted for it, so you're all on the winning side. So anybody and wants to make a motion to reconsider, and do they have to vote on that motion? Motion second? Yeah. So you motion second and vote to reconsider, then you're back to where you were and you can do the proper motion.
Would you like to make that motion?
5A or 5B?
5B, my understanding.
I think we're talking about 5A.
I thought,
We
Oh,
are,
5B, I moved to
5B.
approve, I didn't move to
Motion to
motion.
approve it.
Approve that.
I put the wording in there.
Resolution.
So, yeah, so we can, what his motion, the original motion was to approve it, so I'm the one that threw in the move forward, so it shouldn't have, I shouldn't have changed his motion.
so for the record, item 5A was motion to approve.
Right. 5B was motion to bring forward.
Okay,
and so
With
then
the
now
amendment.
we're looking at the point, we're looking for a motion and a second to reconsider 5B.
And he made their motion.
I did.
We need a second.
And then who seconded the reconsider?
We need a second.
I'll second it.
We've got a second now.
Okay,
We got it straight.
and now you need to, Mayor, you need to call
Okay,
vote.
so
on
we
the
have a motion
reconsideration.
and a second to reconsider the motion to move forward to a motion to approve it. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Now
Motion
you're
passed.
back to ground, to level,
Now we
and
make
so
a
now,
motion to approve resolution 1932
Right.
and stop.
Yep.
yes. Yeah.
So I made that motion.
So I'll second.
So we have a motion to approve and a second to approve resolution number 1932. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passed.
There you go.
Okay.
You know, and it's so nice to say, is there an attorney in the house? Yes, we have one.
Thank you, Tina.
I'm so glad all of you are so experienced.
Okay, so Mayor, go ahead now you're on 5C.
Item C is consideration to approve contract number PS 20260125 with Fitzgibbons Law to hire Tina
Benucci.
Benucci as legal counsel for the update of Chapter 8 Business Regulations of the Globe City Code funded by account 105551226 and request to waive section 2-4-10A prior discussion rule.
So Mayor, I think it was in January, we had conversations, discussion about the rollout of the renewals of the business licenses. And at that point, we started talking about, it highlighted some of the vagueness of our Chapter 8. And when I talk about Chapter 8, let me, for the record, read what Chapter 8 is. Chapter 8 is, in our city code, is business regulation, and primarily we're focusing on Article 8.1, which is business license fees, Article 8.2, which is peddlers, solicitors, and transient merchants, and 8.3, which is special event permits. For a number of reasons, those are the three that we've historically found were lacking, and we made the commitment to go ahead and rewrite those. Rewriting is not an easy task, and that's why, and council wants full involvement from that, and that's why we had talked about bringing on an attorney to walk us through that project. This is something that Bill Sims, our city attorney, understands is more of I don't want to say it's a lot of work, but it's a strong focus, and so with Bill Sims' recommendation and support, we bring in Tina Benucci from Fitzgibbons and Associates to help us with this project. And what's on the agenda tonight is to approve the funding for her support of the city. And but before you vote, I would like to introduce Tina, let her talk a little bit about herself, and talk about the process that we met once and we've talked about a process, and we wanted Tina to share the process with council. So Tina, take it away.
Sure, Mayor, members of council, it's a pleasure to be before you tonight. Yeah, really, just a little bit about me. I've been an attorney for over 20 years. Our firm represents 6 cities and towns across the state of Arizona. And then I also take on special projects like this, whether it's investigations or code rewrites when there's conflicts or it's just a focused area where the city wants some outside help. So happy to step in. It's always a pleasure to work with Paul and your staff. We did have a introductory meeting, I would call it, with staff to give me a flavor of what's going on, the concerns. My proposal would be also to have probably one-on-one meetings with you to get, to the extent you want to the extent you want have inputs and what you're hearing from businesses, what's not working, what is working, what you like, what you don't like. Once I have that input, I'll also be looking at other cities to, just have a comparison available for you, so you have some options and you can see what other cities are doing and what's working and not for them. And then, based on that, we would come back and have kind of bullet points before we begin the rewrite, make sure we're all on the same page, and then dive into the actual rewrite. So just want to be clear that I plan to fully involve both you and staff, so that you'll have input along the way as we go through this process.
And Mr. Mayor, members of the council, one of the things that as city manager, I try not to put so much burden on you as to give you a blank slate. Here's a blank piece of paper, let's start from scratch. So, because we value your time. So it's easier to modify and edit and to edit. I think what we're going to do is first start with the low-hanging fruit. I think city staff and city council agree on certain things. We've heard over the past 6 months on things that you have expressed, and we're always trying to meet your needs. And so we're going to try to do a run at this to get some things that we think that will help alleviate some of your concerns. Then you'll get your direct feedback, and then Tina will be putting her feedback into all of this. This all goes through the Tina filter. Then with you talking to Tina, she'll have direct impact or input from you, and then we'll take all that, put it into some draft document, and then start the process of bringing it forward, probably in daytime meetings. It's a full council, but a work meeting, and then go through until we get tighter and tighter, until we get down to the final last couple of pieces, and once we get those worked out, then bring it back and go through that. Tina, is that kind of the tail end of the process? And,
Yes.
and this will be public. Definitely the final rollout will be in public evening meetings when we get to bringing this forward for final approval. It will be a public process.
And can you name those three titles again? Business license,
Peddler solicitors and transient merchants, special event permits. But we also have public use of the sidewalks and streets, putting those folding signs out used to be, I think, a contentious issue with people putting that, and that kind of deals with that. And that's up for, if there's anything that we need to deal with that. There's a small section on adult businesses, and then legalize the marijuana facilities, which we just redid because we maybe 5 years ago with Dana Burkhart, because we had to update that based on legal changes. So that one's pretty fresh. I don't know that anybody's had any problems or complaints with the code. I know there's been questions on how we implement it with temporary use permits, but that's not a code problem. That's more just how we handle our zoning. So that's why I say that the primary, to me, the primary is gonna be business licenses and special events.
any other
Section
questions?
8 of the current code, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go home, tear it apart.
But it's likely gonna look totally different.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even just from the structure, as an attorney puts things together, they organize, and some people like definitions at the top, some people don't. It'll have the Tina stamp on it.
And this chapter 8 doesn't cover any of the text amendments that we discussed about home businesses, and because we waived those till down the.
No, it should, now the home businesses, that is in the zoning code.
Okay.
And that's what we dealt with before. But no, I mean, I will tell you, if things cross over and there's an issue that you want to address now, we can make that happen. If we're gonna crack this open, I would like to address all those issues that are of concern. And if there's a little bit of project creep on this, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And it's your call anyway.
Sounds good.
So.
Do we have a motion or have more?
I'll move to approve item 5C and waive the prior discussion rule.
Second.
We have a motion and second for approval of item 5C and waiver of the rules. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passed. Go to action items.
Thank you.
Tina, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Have a good
Tina.
evening.
Thank you.
Item A, action item, consideration of possible approval of change order number 1 to contract number CS 2024-0106 to Seneca Electrical for the Cutter VFD replacement in the amount of $704.21 with funds to come from account 5080520001 well pump repair. Vince or Travis?
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. This is just one of those cases where the quote was over 30 days old by the time we got it before you, and there were some increases in the cost of the materials that they needed. So that's the reason for the change order.
Questions, comments?
For no other questions, Mayor, I'd make a motion to approve item A as read.
Second?
Motion second for approval of item 6A is read. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passed. Item B is consideration to approve change order number 1 for contract number CS 2026-0062 with EarthQuest Plumbing and Pumping LLC, executed under the City of Globe's Emergency Declaration Resolution 1912 for emergency water and sewer infrastructure repairs necessitated by the September 26, 2025 flood event in the amount of $1,182.43. This project is budgeted through number 208008008 DEMA 2025 flood. Travis.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. This was one of 7 invoices during the period of October that EarthQuest was doing for emergency work. This one was submitted to us until somewhat recently, so it wasn't in the original contract that we had. The other 6 invoices, since it's the same work that was part of that contract, we figured this would be a best way to do it, just come back as a change order to add this invoice to that contract.
Mayor, I would move to approve item 6B.
Second.
Motion is second for approve item 6B is read. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passed. Item C is consideration to approve change order number 1 for contract number CS 2026-0101 with Weber Wastewater Resources LLC to repair the Cutter Booster number 3 motor in the amount of $8,860. Funds of this project are budgeted on account number 508051242 equipment repairs. Travis.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. Generally, when things like this happen with one of the motors that are boosters, we get a quote to look at it to rehab and possibly rebuild, but once they get in there, they find other things that they need to do. And in this case, they needed to, from what I understand, they had to rewire something and rewound something within that motor. So that had an additional cost of really $10,000 something, but we still had some room from the contingency of the previous original contract. And so we're just doing a change order on that original contract for the remaining $8,860.
Okay. Questions, comments, motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve item C as written.
Second.
Motion is second for approval of item 6C is read. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. We have no late agenda items.
We do not.
Second call to the public. Do we have anybody in line?
Do we have anything on the phone? We do have one email,
Email?
an email. But it's, no, okay. So I'll read this. This came in during the meeting. Let's see, it's from Sarah Langston. Sorry. Good evening, members of the council. I'm writing to express my concerns regarding 2 recent issues impacting the city's budget and long-term financial sustainability. First, during the presentation at the last meeting, there was focus on the 9% healthcare insurance increase for individuals. However, there was no discussion regarding the 17% increase for employees with families, which represent a significant financial impact. Second, there has been a notable increase in hiring for positions that were not originally budgeted. Had these funds not been used for unbudgeted positions, they potentially could have been reallocated to offset the rising healthcare costs of all employees. I respectfully request that council ask staff to provide detailed presentation of unbudgeted positions filled over the past 5 years, detail the specific benefits of those positions and how they contributed to the city's financial standings, and explore the possibility of relocating funds to help offset the insurance costs. Transparency is essential for our community. Thank you for your time and consideration of these matters. Best regard, Sarah Langston. And there's some inaccuracies in here. We can't comment about that, but I will follow up with Sarah. I will email her back and see if I can kind of resolve some of the misstatements in there.
Okay,
Good.
all right.
What was the individual's name?
Sarah Langston.
Langston?
And that's all we have in the way of public comment.
Scheduling of meetings?
And, oh, we do have.
Spring break, isn't it?
Well, we're.
Yeah, so Mayor.
Nice try.
I missed something.
I'm bad.
Okay.
You're busy.
We are requesting the council approve a special council meeting on May 19th, 2026 at 6 p.m. to adopt the tentative budget. That's a Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and that will get us in our budget cycle. We're splitting that in there because our budget analyst does have a once in a lifetime trip. Not budget analyst, budget manager, Tina Allen has a trip. And there's nothing wrong with getting this done sooner rather than later. Then we have a month of public notice that we have to put in the paper twice, and then we'll come back on what day? For final? I'm trying to remember. In June, well, middle of June, I think the first meeting in June for the final adoption.
So this will be for what part of the budget again?
This will be for adoption of the tentative
Okay.
budget
On the 19th?
on the 19th of May, which would be the earliest we've ever done it.
So that,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
so that's the third Monday, Tuesday of the month, right?
Yes. She will not be available for the 4th. So. And, but again, to explain, the tentative budget is the budget put together, it sets the top number, the highest amount that we're allowed to spend, our spending cap, okay? Total, everything, grants, enterprise, general fund. After that, in between that and the final, we can reallocate and move money around, take a little bit from here and move it to there, but we likely wouldn't raise that budget anyway because we don't think that the funds are gonna, somehow increase between May and June. But it gives us a good chance to have a good look at the budget and see all the pieces together. The tentative is 99% done. But you.
I'm good
still
with
have-
it, or how do we?
I'm good, yeah. That's why head nod, or?
I'm good.
What's that? Head nod, yes, that would be fine. Direction to allow that, we will schedule that.
Okay.
And hopefully everyone's available? Does anybody?
Good.
Okay, and feel free to check your calendars if. Okay.
And do we still have a budget work group meeting on the 5th?
Yes,
We need to confirm
that's different than this. That would be the small group.
the small, work group. So we need to confirm 3. We need to confirm 3 council members will be
Yes,
there.
we will do our best to, and what we will do is we will, we'll get 3 in a backup, just in case something happens.
Okay. Future agenda items, anybody have any?
I think we got plenty.
We'll be going to executive session, and it looks like we'll have possible action after recession?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, we will have action, possible action afterwards, and so, we will, Danny will stick around and be able to rebroadcast that. I don't, Danny will, I'll put it this way, Danny should be able to turn the cameras back on and capture that when we come back.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion made.
Second.
Motion second to go into executive session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
they're paying them millions to walk away.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Okay, we're live,
Okay,
so just so you know.
so we're back in regular session.
do you have to read item 12A?
Oh, shoot. Okay, you got 12A? Sorry,
Yes, we are back.
sorry.
It's item 12A, Mr. Mayor.
12A? Okay, item 12A, consideration to approve contract number PS 2026-0120 with Coppersmith Brookelman Lawyers for legal representation to the City of Globe Fire Department for advertisement and interjurisdictional relationships funded through account 1056-51234 Fire Contractual Services and waive section 2-4-10A prior discussion rule.
So,
Paul.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, so we have worked side by side with Tri-City Fire District for many, many years. We have come to that point, we believe that it would be very beneficial to both sides that we enter into possibly a jurisdictional service agreement with them to kind of define the framework and the relationships, just to make sure there's clarity on both sides. And so we have looked for a possible contract with Coppersmith Blockman lawyers for that. And Mayor, can you remind me of who the actual lawyer? It's Kathy.
Kathy, and I can't remember.
Is
last
it in the
name.
staff report?
Stedman.
Stedman? Yeah, Kathy Stedman.
Yes,
Yeah.
Stedman.
Kathy Stedman. She's with Coppersmith Blockman Lawyers, and we're looking to enter into a contractual relationship with her to help us with our communication and possibly negotiation with Tri-City Fire District. And so this would be, we would ask to waive the rule and approve this relationship with our new attorney. And she's very much a specialty attorney, deals a lot with CON issues. She's very well known in the community and the state. Excellent reputation, and I think she can handle this efficiently and help us with our goals.
Okay. Any questions or comments, or we're good with?
No, not good, sir.
Mayor, I would move to approve the contract with Coppersmith Brockelman Lawyers for legal representation to the city regarding our fire interjurisdictional relationship.
Second.
Second,
We have a motion and a second for item 12A. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion passed. Okay. We have a motion for adjournment?
Motion made.
Second.
Motion second for adjournment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then I think Danny, go ahead and turn the.
9 o'clock. 8:59.
Oh, 9 o'clock.
We might still be on.